Hello my beautiful babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you so much for watching today. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new Wahala 2 palette from Juvia's place. They have been releasing palettes left and right, and I am so here for it because Juvia's place makes one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas, and I've pretty much loved everything I've tried from Juvia's place. So I'm very excited to try this palette today. But if you are interested in seeing some swatches, see me create this beautiful eye look, and just give you guys my overall thoughts on the palette, then keep on watching. Man, it is such a crazy time in the makeup world. There are so many releases going on. It's just the holiday season, you know, collections just come out like crazy, and there are so many things I want. My pockets are hurting, and Juvia's place keeps coming out with so many new products, and I want to try them all. Every time that they release something, I want it because I just know I'm gonna love it. But anyways, here is the Wahala 2 palette. This retails for $38. Here is the artwork up close. Always beautiful artwork on here. And then here are the ingredients and all the information about each shadow. Then inside, I'm going to show you guys. There is no mirror, but just some artwork. And then here are the shades. There are 30 shades in this palette. It's a very cool toned leaning palette with a lot of jewel tones. There are a few warm tone shades in here, but it's predominantly these blues, purples, and greens. There are pressed glitters in here, so if you're not a fan of pressed glitters, I would stay away from this palette. There are 4 in it, and I don't mind pressed glitters. I'm pretty neutral about it being in a palette. I don't mind them being there. Sometimes I'll use them, sometimes I won't, but I know some people just despise pressed glitters in their palettes, so I'm just letting you know that's there. There are also 2 duochromes in this palette, which I don't know. They've had duochromes in the past, but they feel very different from any shade I've ever tried from Juvia's place. It's right here. This is fake. It has like a green, like a purple to green shift, and then the shade Money, which is like a teal to a blue shift in. I'll show you guys up close what it looks like with the swatches. And then there's 11 mattes in here, and then there are other like traditional shimmers. So pretty. There's also pressed pigments in this palette, which they're not considered eye safe because they may cause staining on the eyelids. I'm very comfortable with pressed glitters and pressed pigments, but it's up to you what you are comfortable putting on your eyes. So you will have to make that decision whether you want to pick this palette up or not. They did also have an option where you could get this in a set that came with 2 like mini lip products, which seem to be new lip formulas. One was a lip gloss and one was like a new velvety matte liquid lipstick. I will put a picture of it in the corner here if you want to check out the set, and that was $50. But anyways, let me show you guys the swatches. Okay, the swatches look beautiful. I couldn't fit them all in one arm because there was just too many shadows, but I wanted to show you guys up close the pressed glitters and the duochromes. So here is one of the duochromes. This is the shade Fate. You see it has a purple then to green shift. You can definitely see it when I turn my arm like that. It is a true duochrome. It's so pretty. It's very creamy. It just glides on, as well as this one right here. This is Money. This is a teal to blue shifty shade, if that's picking up, and that one is also very creamy to the touch and just glides on like butter. Okay, so let me get into the pressed glitters in this palette. There is the shade Gold. This one has a very chunky glitter formula in here. I'm going to show you guys up close. This is Gold. So you see how big the chunks in here are, and then it's not a strong tacky base to it. Then they have 419, just this orange shimmer, and I'll show you guys that up close. You see how much smaller the glitters are in it, and this one had a lot more tack to the base and just glided on and adhered to the skin really well. It's very similar to their 2 new mini palettes that they came out with, the Nubian Glow and the Nubian Royal. The glitter formula is pretty much the same. I did do a video on those palettes as well as their lip balm. I'll put that in the corner for you guys to check out. I'll also have it linked in the description below. And then for this other glitter, this is Colo, And this one has fine shimmers in it, but it's loosely packed in the pan. There's not a lot of base to it. And then they have this shade called, I think it's Gobe or Gobe. And this one has chunkier shimmers, but it has a good tacky base to it. And I used that on the eyes today in the inner corner, and it went on really nicely. But that's all I'm really going to talk about. Oh, and one last shade. This is, oh yeah. This is like a satin, but it almost looks more matte on the skin. It's really weird. It's right here. There's like a somewhat sheen to it, but that shade is very dry in the palette. But like I said, there's a lot of different formulas going on in this palette. So now I'm going to have you guys see the eye look that I created, and then I will give you guys my final thoughts on the palette. Okay, so let's do a look. I'm gravitating towards these like blues and periwinkles and teals. That's really why I picked up the palette. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go in and start with Dream, the darkest one. I've already primed my eyes with the matte paint pot, and we're gonna just see how that looks. I think I'm gonna get a more dense brush for this. I always like to start with the darkest shade. That seems to be going on just fine. It looks a little patchy, but I'm just gonna keep packing it on and we will see how this goes. I don't want to do too much blending right now. I just want to get the shadow laid down. Pat out some of these creases. Okay. That looks good. Actually, that looks fine. Alright, that's looking good. I think I brought the blue up a little too high, but we're going to work that out with another shade, so we're going to blend on that edge. So what I'm thinking now is I'm going to go in with Fury, this shade right here, and I'm going to work that over the edge and into the crease. I love these just periwinkle shades. They're so beautiful. So I just moved the camera a little, sorry guys. So I'm just gonna really dig into that shade. Well, that shade's coming off a lot darker than I was expecting. But we're gonna just, oh yeah, that shade looks a lot darker on the eyes than I did in the palette. Alright guys, I felt like this look kind of got out of hand real quick. We're getting crazy blue up in here, but it's fine. We're just gonna look real intense and real vibrant. So I'm gonna take the shade Wicked right here. It's like the lightest blue in the palette. And I'm just gonna try to like get the edges blended as best as possible. Shades like these, they're like super pigmented, can end up looking patchy really easily if you're not careful. So we're just gonna go softly on the edges. I feel like I brought the blue up way too high, but we're gonna work it out. It's gonna work itself out all in the end, okay? But I just want to do the edges a little bit. We'll come back to this. We will finagle and try to make this look come out the best way possible. Now I'm thinking I'm going to do the lower lash line with these teals. Yes, we're gonna have a two-toned look going on, and then we'll work on the shimmers on the lid. So I'm thinking I'm going to use the shade Jealous on the bottom part with this little brush right here. Ooh, we got so dramatic, guys. All right, so I'm gonna lay that down. I love these kind of shades though in here. All right, so I'm gonna go here. All right, that looks nice and pigmented. So I'm gonna take a balmy, in my, I don't know how to pronounce this, but this shade right here, I'm gonna use on the outer corner of the lower lash line, just to deepen things up and try to use a lot of more, and try to use more shades in the palette. I would love to like do multiple looks with this palette, but I don't have the time, so we're gonna use as much shadows as possible in this pan. Okay, so now I'm going to go in the inner part with some shimmer. So I'm gonna get one of these flat shader brushes, and I'm gonna put a little bit of glitter primer down there. I want it to stand out a lot, so I'm gonna do that down here. Okay, so I'm gonna use the same brush, and I'm gonna lay down Venom in the inner part. When I do that, in this part right here, oh God, this is beautiful. Oh my God, it's so bright and metallic. You didn't even need the glitter primer down there. Oh my God. That is looking so pretty. So I'm gonna go back in with the matte shade Jealous, just to get everything to look blended together. So there's no like harsh lines between that matte and the shimmer. So I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush that doesn't have any product and just make sure the edges look blended. Whew. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the lid and putting shimmer down. I'm gonna get some more glitter primer and lay that down on the lid, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the glitter primer is down. I'm gonna take the shade Dope right here, and that's going to be more on the edge of the matte. Wow, these jewel tones, guys, these jewel tones are crazy in this palette. Oh, the shimmers. Wow, I feel like they're on another level. So now I'm going to go on with the shade right here. This is called Rage, and I'm going to do that in the middle part of the lid. It's kind of like a purpley shade here in the center. It's like a purpley gray toned shimmer. It's definitely not as vibrant as the blue shade, but it's still pretty. Looks nice. I like that. It's like silvery lavender. So now I'm going to go in with the shade Creed right there, and that's going to be in the inner portion. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. It looks a lot lighter on the lids than it does in the pan, but this is just like a kind of silvery shade. It's a little bit more muted, maybe more like closer to a gunmetal. Wow, that looks really pretty. So I'm gonna clean that brush off, and now I'm going to go in with the shade Fame. It looks like a really shimmery white shimmer. I would describe it. And I'm gonna use that in the inner part. Wow. I could just tell it was gonna be a really vibrant shade. I decided to go back and wet my brush just to get it to be a little smoother going on. This is such a beautiful like white shimmer. Let me just bring it up a little bit because I like to do that with my inner corner highlight. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the shade Gobe. I think it's Gobe or Gobe. And I'm gonna put a little bit of sparkle in the inner corner, and that is it. That's all I'm gonna use the shimmers for. But I am going to lay some more glitter primer down right here, where I'm gonna stick some of the shimmer. Just wanna make sure, you know, everything sticks and stays. I haven't swatched any of these shadows to know like how the pressed glitters feel in this palette. But I'm gonna take a little bit of that with the same brush. I'm just gonna dab a little bit of shimmer. Just to have a little bit of sparkle right there. Okay, so I think that glitter gave it a little bit of pizzazz to the look. Now, of course, glitters aren't considered eye safe, so use them at your own risk. But I wanted to give the glitters a try since there are 3 pressed glitters in this palette and I don't mind using them. So, of course, if you were like recreating this look, you don't have to use the glitters. If you're not comfortable, you could have just left it as is without the glitter in the inner corner. But I'm gonna go do my liner and mascara and figure out something for my lip and all that, and I'll be right back.
I was looking at the real estate values last week. Georgetown is projected to increase by 6%.
All right, here is the finished look. I think it came out really gorgeous and I love it. This is just my types of shades. So I went in with a little bit of a liquid eyeliner from Sugar and created a little bit of a wing. Then I went in with my IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. Of course, you could also do falsies if you prefer that. Then I went in the waterline right here with the LA Girl Shockwave eyeliner in the shade Fresh. It's just a bright teal shade and I thought it would go really well with the teal that we have down here. And then for the lips, I went in with the Juvia's Place lipstick in the shade Muted, which is a cool tone brown. And it was just going with like the cool tone vibes that I got going on. Honestly, I wish I could have created some more looks, but I just didn't have enough time and I wanted to get this video up. But this was the completed look. I think it came out really nice. But let's now get into my overall thoughts so we can wrap this video up. I'm going to try to finish this video up as soon as possible because I've talked a lot in the intro, but I love this palette. Are you guys surprised? I love Juvia's Place and I just love that there are so many different formulas, so many different textures in this palette, and there are just all these different types of looks that you can create. I mean, the possibilities are endless. There's so many cool tone, jewel tone colors in here. There's the shimmers, there's the glitters, there's the dual chromes. There's just a lot of different things you can do with this. Also, there are some neutrals so you can tone down the look. I'm just a big fan. So if you like pressed glitters or you don't mind them and you like colorful looks and you like playing with different textures, then I think you would love this palette. Now, of course, if you don't like pressed glitters, stay far away from this palette. If you don't like pressed pigments, stay far away from this palette. But if you're open to all different types of formulas and creating a bunch of different kind of looks, then I don't think you could go wrong with this palette. I highly recommend it. It's $38, which is not that bad for a palette with 30 shades. So I'm a huge fan and I love that this is so different from their other palettes and it's just something new and they're introducing new formulas, and I'm just so excited because I do feel like Juvia's Place is really branching out and trying different things, and I just love seeing a brand grow and develop. But that was my overall thoughts on this palette. I'm really happy I picked it up. So let me know in the comments below what you think. If you have any questions, I love hearing from all of y'all. I also forgot to mention in the beginning, if you're new here and you like fashion, makeup, palette reviews, all that fun stuff, then hit that subscribe button and join this little family we got going on. And don't forget to check out the description below. I will have everything linked as well as my contact information and my Instagram. I am at the Curvy Traveler. I will have that on the screen if you want to check me out there as well. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up so I know you enjoy these types of videos. But that was everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm just sending you guys love and light wherever you are in the world, and I hope you guys are all doing well. But until next time, bye guys.